All right, guys, we're going to cover our new reserve engine, which is vehicle 925. It is very, very, very similar to reserve vehicle 724. If you haven't checked out that presentation, it's on Fire Rescue 1. The operation of these two trucks is extremely similar, and they're both E1 chassis, just one's just a little newer than the next. So we're going to go over the vehicle specs. We're going to talk about its vehicle components, look at its locations and functions of critical systems so that you're prepared to operate this apparatus when it comes in. So again, it's vehicle 925. It's labeled engine 76. So this was the truck that we bought from Vogelpool. This is not the Tyler Mountain truck. The Tyler Mountain truck is 724. But it's a 2025 E1 pumper, and like 724, it's built on a Spartan chassis. So which it's just a little bit unique as far as how it's laid out. But again, it's an E1 pumper, just like our other E1 pumpers. As far as the basic operations of them, they're very, very similar. So its specs, it has an Allison transmission. It has a 1,500 gallon per minute pump, a 1,000 gallon poly tank, and a 30 gallon Class A foam system. There is no onboard generator. Hose lengths, so this picture still shows the Tyler Mountain one, but the hose lengths are relatively the same. There's 2 inch and 3/4 200-foot pre-connects that are already preloaded. There is a 2.5 pre-connect on the crosslays as well. There's an apartment load on the rear. There's a blitz fire mounted on the rear. Right now we have about 800 feet of 5 inch on it and about 450 feet of 2.5 to go into the apartment load. Those lengths are obviously subject to kind of change a little bit. But that's what is on there right now. The ladder compartment, very similar to the 724. This is actually the identical picture because it's the same exact compartment layout of a 14-foot roof ladder, a 24-foot extension ladder, an attic ladder, and space for a backboard. Going under the cab, so the cab tilt controls are just located in the same spot. This is on the officer side of the pump panel behind this hatch. To use that, you have to have all the doors of the apparatus closed. So if you have the driver's door open or any other cab door open, the cab tilt will not work. You also cannot have the battery in the ignition mode. So remember that on most of our battery switches, kind of like a Suffin truck, you have the push switch and there's actually 2 clicks on it. You want to be in position 1. So just go up to the first click to turn the batteries on. Do not put it into ignition, or else the cab tilt controls will not work. As far as pump access goes, on that same side, there's multiple hatches so that you can remove the pump panel housing and get to behind the pump controls. As far as the cab tilt remote, it works the same as 724. So there's a plug that's behind that pump panel access, just behind the hatch that says cab tilt. You plug in the remote, and as long as you're in that first position with all the doors shut, she's going to work just fine, which is this remote right here. So that plugs in. The remote's long enough so that you can actually go to the front of the truck and make sure that you have adequate clearance. The pins for this, just like the other one, has to be aligned. So if you're trying to force this plug in, you're actually probably doing it wrong. It goes in very, very easily. It's a 1/4 turn to lock it in with that plastic cap. So just be careful that we're lining up the pins correctly. You'll get a red illumination light on the remote, and then you just hit U for up, and the truck will go up. Once the truck's fully extended, the stabilizer bar will come down. So we want to make sure that the stabilizer bar comes down to lock out the cab so it can't come back down. And then lower the cab slightly onto that stabilizer bar. The motor itself is a Cummins motor, just like 724. It's very similar to our other ones in the fleet. As far as the DEF tank, there is a DEF tank on it, and there's also a clean exhaust and a regen switch that's in the cab. The radiator overflow is on the officer side attached to the frame. So you can visualize the radiator overflow. And then the radiator sight glass is best viewed from the officer's side. It's up by the radiator fan blade. You should see red coolant in the sight glass, just like so. The oil dipstick is best accessed from the driver's side on the housing. So the oil dipstick is there along with the transmission fluid check. The oil fill is affixed to the top of the motor, so don't get those two things confused. And then again, the transmission fluid dipstick and handle is located next to the oil dipstick. It's a quarter turn cap to remove. Very, very simple process. Power steering fluid reservoir is located on the driver's side near those oil and transmission dipsticks. The fluids and capacities chart is located on the driver's door, so you can see exactly what kind of oil it takes, exactly what kind of power steering fluid it takes. More for our mechanics, but if we're doing top-offs and stuff, we want to make sure we're using the right fluids, and it also has the tire pressures on there as well. So in the cab, we have a push start. So unlike 724, which actually has physical switches, this is just a single push switch to all the way up for the ignition sequence. We allow the batteries to cycle, and then we press engine start. So kind of a new way for us to start the fire truck, but it's a push start, a lot like what you'd see in a modern vehicle. The transmission and pump shift and parking brake and all the controls are set up almost identical to 724. So the pump shift, the sirens, and everything on the doghouse is set up there. There is also a Knox box, and the radios are all installed. The air conditioner and heater controls are also located there on the doghouse. The VMUX display is a new touchscreen enabled display, so there's no soft buttons or soft keys. It's all physically touchscreen. There's no generator controls, and even the secondary mode switch on this doesn't have any inputs because this is a very basic truck. The lower left red button that says eMaster, that is how you activate your emergency lights. So all they did was remove the soft keys and put that in there as a touchscreen. You can go through the vehicle specs and see when it was last serviced and all the other auxiliary modes. But again, it also has all the door alarms and all the safety features built into it with seatbelts alarms as well. But those are all how you access the VMUX display. As far as the pump operations, again, extremely simple. We go ahead and drop the pump shift into from road to pump. We select D for drive, and you'll see 4-4. On the VMUX display, on both the new truck and on this one, which is the picture from 724, it's identical. You'll get the top one is red, and then 4 greens. And all that is that the transmission is not in neutral because it's in drive, so that's why you're going to get a red line, and then 4 greens. On the pump shift, you'll see 2 green lights. The pump's engaged and an OK to pump light. Make sure we're in 4-4, and we're good to go. As far as the pump panel itself, it's exceedingly simple to operate. It's the same Class 1 governor system that you see on our other E1 apparatus. So we just want to select the right mode to make sure we're in PSI or RPM. There are no presets on this truck yet. However, we can set those to our preset pressures if we want to. And so, in short, it's reserve engine 925. When you go into this truck, if you go into this truck, because currently it's operating as engine 74, you'll need to move all your equipment over when operating. Again, it's a 1,000-gallon tank, 1,500 gallon per minute pump. No current presets as of October 2025. And don't forget to do your daily and weekly checks per policy. As always, if you have any questions, you can get with me and anybody else. Thank you guys so much.